So today's video is a vlog, but it's not just any kind of vlog. This vlog was filmed when I was not feeling very good, and I didn't delete it because honestly, I thought you guys should see, if you're not a spoonie or if you don't know somebody who lives with chronic illness or whatever, it's kind of a glimpse into our lives. So I almost never film when I don't feel well, but I was kind of lonely and I wanted to talk to somebody, and I was living in the basement at the time. I'm in the guest room now. Woo! Step up. I just thought you guys should see what it's like. So today's video is a little bit different, but I hope you stay tuned because I do talk about some upcoming things and you do get some sneak peeks of what I'm working on. So why not join me? See what it's like in the life of a spoonie. Hello, welcome back to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon, the Spoonie Stitcher. We're in my basement. If you want to know what that's about, see the videos that I'll either put above or below. Yeah, sorry my energy's a little bit low today. I thought I would just talk to you guys and crochet. So I'm working on another Broadway bear. This is my Phantom bear. I love him so much. This is my pattern. Everything about it's my pattern. The cape, the mask, the bear itself. And I'm making a much smaller one this time. I was curious to see if my pattern would work in smaller yarn. And cause you know, I don't know, I don't need 12 of these. So, I mean, maybe I do one day. I don't know. I love them so much. I also have Burial. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link these videos down below if you're interested. These are my Broadway bears, and they're just bears based on like a Build-A-Bear type style for Broadway shows I love. And this one, do you know what this one is? I will give you guys a hint. Hold on. Let's put Phantom over here. This is technically Halloween related. Here, I'll let you get a good look. This is an arm. So this is an arm. You may take a very good look at it. I will tell you this color is a teensy bit off, not much, of the costume because I'm trying to use what I have. Okay, I don't know even if they make a yarn in the size I want that's the correct color. So this time I won't do a full-on Broadway Bears video like I did last two, you know, where I talk about the history of the show and stuff. Not really gonna do that this time. This is gonna be a much simpler video, but this particular bear does have something pretty cool about it. So if you remember, my Burial had a removable tail. This one has something slightly interchangeable about it because it has to do with the show. And I'm sorry, the camera just moved. That was my knee. I'm recording on my computer so I can do this. My phone is about dead. So here's my phone. Oh yeah, changed out my phone case. Woo! Yeah, I need to plug it in. Hold on. So I did make a couple of videos. I don't know if I've posted them yet. Probably not. About what's coming up on the channel in September and October. I would go check those out if I were you, because they're pretty cool, pretty interesting. Yeah. So, wow, I'm really bad at this. I'm so sorry, you guys. So this is a spoonie who is dealing with pain while she's recording.
Why did I decide to do this? Because it's a pretty easy video and I don't have to move. I have a heating pad that you can't see. You can see the blanket. I am on a blow-up air mattress bed. It's off the ground. And, you know, all my stuff is right here. So I will show you, I made a review video on the I'm just going to read it. I made a review video for the Juicy Couture Luxe Velour Sparkle. It's this one. Ooh, look at all the sparkle. And I made a bat called Boop. But Boop is somewhere, I'll put a picture here or here, I don't know. Somewhere on the screen there will be a picture of my original Boop, the bat. And the reason I named him that is because I couldn't help going boop to his little nose all the time. But I decided to see if I could make a white bat, and I wanted to try this yarn. I actually did my review for this yarn with something else that I won't show you on here, so you have to go watch. But I've been making decorations for the stitchery. And I also really wanted a white bat. So this is my little white bat. This is my pattern. Just made it up in my head one day. She's shy. Her eyes are my false French knot. Her nose is Bernat Velvet something. And she's not a vampire bat, so I didn't give her any fangs or anything. I know not all vampire bats, I know vampire bats are not the only ones with fangs, but I just didn't do that. I really like how her eyes came out. I indented them just a little bit. I don't know if you can see. Just to give her some more shape. Her back's exactly the same. So what I did was I went around and around and around, and then I closed it by stitching through both sides, and I made her little feet. So the wings are really, really easy. I just chained a certain number, and then I made a shape to go like this, and then I just chain 2, slip stitch in the second one, single crochet in the next stitch on the chain 2, you get the point to make these. And yeah, I used a 4mm hook, or a 4.5. Actually, I have the book right here. Because I write down everything I do. Otherwise, I'll never remember it. Yep. Here we go. 4.5mm hook. This yarn is a... So the yarn is a... oh, here it is. A 5 chunky. And they recommend a 6.5mm hook. So, yeah, I went down considerably to make this. They also have another Juicy Couture yarn. This one. This is the non-sparkle variety, and it's completely different. This is like a really fuzzy cord. It's very strange, but I like it, and I'm actually going to use it in this. Here's your second hint. Yes. So it is also a 5. Yes, it's also a 5. Also recommends 6.5mm hook. And I made a Pill Pal Pet. If you don't know what that is, that's my little creation that reminds me of the Japanese Tsum Tsums. And yeah, it's really easy. I have a tutorial on how to make a bunny. There will be more Pill Pal Pet tutorials. In fact, if you guys really like this one, I wrote down how to do it. I can show you. So this is, I'm just calling it a cat. It doesn't have a name. I feel bad, but it doesn't have a name yet. Anyway, this is my Pill Pal Pet cat. And I used this and a 4mm hook. So, and then some worsted weight yarn for details. Again, false French knot. regular, you know, just stitch through the nose kind of thing. So the tail was just, I continued on the tube instead of fastening off the bottom. I just kept going. Then I wrapped it around the body and sewed it to the body. So, but I'm gonna do a review on this yarn, but I have to say I like it, and I really like it for amigurumi. So yeah, I'll let you guys look better. There we go. So there's my kitty. If you think the ears don't look the same, you're right. I screwed up. And didn't realize it till I sewed it. So it's okay. It's the first one. It's fine. So yeah. This was so easy to make. I just I went with my original form, Pill Pal Pet form in my head. And then I was like, I want the cat tail to wrap around. And that's what I did. So I have to say, this yarn and a 4mm hook was so easy. I didn't think it'd be easy, but it was. Yeah, I'm still gonna use it. I still really like it. I mean, look how great that looks. Look at my stitch definition, even though the yarn is black. You can see it. I think it's really good. The stitch definition. I'm not tooting my own horn on my design. Although it is cute, and I do plan on making more. So, I have two decorations now in Juicy Couture for my stitchery. Yay! I'm just gonna put them up somewhere in my background. Not here in the stitchery. This is, no. It's not much of a view today. I'm sorry. I can't go sit in the chair. I just can't. I have a bunch of stuff that I've made for October. Yes, October. And I have a few things made for September. I've been working really hard on tutorials for you guys. A specific tutorial, which will come out next week? 2 weeks? I don't know. Look for it in September. It'll happen very soon. And what was the other thing? So I guess I'm working on this, obviously. Oh, why I decided to go smaller. Yeah, why don't I talk about that? So why did I decide to go like this instead of this? Well, as you can see, there's quite a difference. So let me show his arm. This is his arm. Big difference. Yep. So, isn't he cute? Even if you don't like Broadway, you have to admit, he's pretty cute. I have had a couple people ask me if my Broadway bears will ever have tutorials. I don't think so. I do kind of just make them for me, I'll be honest. But one exception to that is possibly Wicked. The Wicked movie is supposed to come out, part 1, is supposed to come out next year. Well, Wicked's one of my favorite musicals ever. I know that is so basic of me to say, you know, like what all theater kids say or whatever, but no, it's true. I think it's really, really good. I think they did a really, really good job portraying the characters and the storyline and how certain characters came to be. I think it's really clever. But the movie is supposed to come out next year, so I was like, oh, my Broadway bear should definitely be Alpha Bear. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know this, I am not an affiliate, I have no insider information, please take this with a grain of salt. Build-A-Bear will probably make a Glen Bear and Alpha Bear, but they won't call it that. I will. I will totally call it that. But yes. So mine will be Glyn Bear and Alpha Bear. And Alpha Bear might have a tutorial. Because I know there's a lot of Wicked fans out there. And who doesn't want an Alpha Bear? You know? One of my friends who I talk to a lot, she's a fellow Spoonie. She asked me, you know, will there be an Alpha Bear? And, well, she said, will there be an Alpha Bear? But see, that's hard to say. Alpha Bear. Alpha Bear. Right? Yeah. And I told her definitely, but I don't know when. And she was like, did you remember that the movie's coming out? And I said, yes. And she's like, you should make it this year, you know, because the movie's next year. And I said, nope. I'd rather do it at the same time that Build-A-Bear might do it, because more people would be interested in the idea. I also want a specific yarn that I don't have my hands on yet for one of the bears. And I really want to make it like that. So we'll see. We'll see how I do. So that's the only one I'm considering maybe having a tutorial for. Maybe. Right, so let's get back to this. So I decided to go smaller. One, to see if my pattern would work that way. I wrote it a certain way. I had to tweak it a little bit for burial, for obvious reasons. And that kind of made me wonder if I needed to tweak it to make it tinier. Because I know a lot of pattern designers and stuff say, oh, just use a different yarn and a different hook and you can make my pattern. That's not true of every pattern. Not every pattern is created equally. For instance, I have a pattern that I'll show you this month. That video is going to be hard. Anyway, I'll show you a pattern that I designed this month. Haven't decided if it's going to be a tutorial yet. I don't know. But I created it for a very specific reason. Anyway, I tried to make it in blanket yarn because I really wanted it in blanket yarn. It didn't work. It didn't work. The color changes just wouldn't work because I made it in a smaller yarn and I only had to show like a color change in the face for 1 or 2 stitches. Well, when I did it in blanket yarn, it looked ridiculous. It looked like, you know, it had a speck on its face. It didn't look right. So there we go. Oh, another good example is Blanca. So Boop is like this tall. Yeah. And when I did the rounds, I realized that Blanca needed to be wider, so I added an extra round. I also had to add extra length because Boop is only like 4 or 5 rows big. She's 8 because, and that's not including the increase rounds, because to make her, you know, if I made her like this and then I added her feet, that would look really weird. And then her wings were the wrong size as well. They were like that, which is cute, but not the look I'm going for. So I had to add, woo, hello. She's trying to fly away on me. Yeah, I'm not insulting you, I swear. Anyway, I had to add extra length to her wings, so I had to add more chains. And it's just little things like that. However, her ears were perfect. Things just happen. I don't know. Her feet I had to alter, her wings I had to alter, her body I had to alter, but her ears were perfect. Go figure. So, this one, I'm pretty sure the only thing I have to alter is number of rows. So this is a 5-weight yarn, and to do it in a 4-weight yarn would just be my regular Pill Pal Pet body. So whatever number that is, probably double what this is. Not quite double. Maybe this plus a third. for number of rows. Maybe. So altering patterns is very interesting because if I made this in a 6-weight yarn, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have to change a thing. This is how it would look. I'm almost positive. Because a 5 and a 6 is really close. 5 and a 4, not so much. This is 5. But as you can see, there's still a huge difference. And I make my Broadway bears always in a 7mm hook. Always. Obvious exceptions. But my regular Broadway bears, like him, are in 7mm hooks and Bernat blanket yarn. Or Bernat, whatever. Bernat, some kind of blanket yarn. Doesn't have to be Bernat. It can be Premier, it can be Hirschner, it can be anything, obviously. But that type of yarn. And so they're quite large. But I want them that way. I want them like Build-A-Bear size. So why did I decide to go smaller? Am I finally going to answer that question? 1, I wanted to see if I could make my pattern work in a smaller size. 2, I wanted to use a specific yarn, this one right here. 3, I wanted to make something quicker, and I felt like I wouldn't have to use as much stuffing, I could get it done faster and all this kind of stuff. And 4, and the most important, this being doll size is hilarious. Trust me. I've had a couple people ask about this. Why do I never do 3 or 3? I always do this. I learned ASL when I was younger, and I was a sign interpreter, and if I have any hard of hearing or deaf people watching, hello. Yes, I was a sign interpreter to a deaf pastor, and I had to watch him and then interpret for a woman whose brain was that of like a 2nd grader, and she was 27. Hardest job I've ever had in my life. Also one of the most rewarding. So, he also would not tell me his lessons ahead of time. I just had to watch him and hope for the best. Because I had to watch him and then break it down for her. So difficult. Because she would look at me like, what did he say? And I had to not only interpret, but I had to break it down first in my head, live, and be like, okay, if I was explaining this to a child, how would I explain this? And thankfully, he never went on super, complex topics. I mean, like, I never had to explain the Trinity. Or spiritual gifts. Whew. I don't want to touch those. Anyway, it's just ingrained in me to do 3. Because this is basically this, and this is 6, this is 7. So, 2 I can still do because 2 is the same for them as well. But this is 3 or this is 3. That's just my brain. Ever since, I just can't go backwards. So, that's it. Nothing amazing. Just, that's what I learned and that's what I do. So, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, well. I'm going to watch this back and edit it and be like, what? Why did you? Okay. Yeah. I feel that way a lot when I'm editing my videos. So, since this is a vlog. The basement, right. Tomorrow, knock on wood, I am going to attempt to go back to the guest room for a bit and spend the day up there and see how I do breathing wise. Because the new air purifier, which is huge, supposedly has been working in that room for almost 24 hours. So hopefully it'll clean all the air and everything that, needs to be cleaned out. So that's the plan. Because am I sick of living in the basement? Yeah. So that's the plan anyway. We'll see. Okay, well, thank you all for joining me today. There's a chance I'll delete this video. I don't know. But thank you all for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Yarn Zebra family. I would love to have you come back and see a completely different part of my house. Probably the guest room. Fingers crossed for the guest room. Sad but true. I love you all. I love my subscribers, my yarn zebras. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Goodbye.